So Mr. Kalyan is representing Biopeak. Biopeak is an organization which is advancing medicine 3.0, dedicated to extending health span. Apt company in the longevity space. Mr. Kalyan? Sure.
I think it's really unfair for me to speak after my dear friend Tav and Marcus, two fantastic speakers. Can we have another big round of applause for these guys? That was fantastic. I learned a lot. Thank you so much. Is my friend, mentor, Dr. Alexander Thomas in the room? He's actually walking down here. Dr. Alex, thank you for joining us. Around 6 months back, Dr. Alex and I were on the stage along with Dr. Devi Shetty giving the keynote at the Confederation of Accredited Healthcare Organizations. And at the end of that keynote, after Dr. Devi and I had spoken, Dr. Alex said something very specific. And he said that this is supposed to be a healthcare conference, and we are talking so much about sick care and not about healthcare. When I look around the room today and when I look at the conference, I really think today we are talking about healthcare, where you have health and how we can extend that health and take care of our own health. I'm really excited that conferences like this have really taken up into the mainstream. And I'm excited to tell you about the work that my company 5C and Biopeak are doing. I'm going to be talking about a very exciting new imaging protocol that we call Biopeak Evo that has already been launched and that is doing some exciting work. So you guys know all the cool work Biopeak is doing. They've been the guys who have been kind of one of the pillars of this conference. And if I had to put it very simply, Biopeak uses deep science and a lot of biomarkers in order to help you understand your health and take it one step forward. One of the interesting things that Biopeak had approached my company, 5C, was for that because there was no imaging in that traditional biomarker sense. So generally people would take blood, urine, all this other stuff, but imaging in general was missing. I have a deep background in medical imaging. My company 5C is probably the largest reactive imaging, and I'll explain what that means, reactive imaging company in the country, and we tied up to create something really cool. We created something now called Biopeak Evo, the future of proactive imaging for longevity. The whole idea was that imaging, medical imaging today has been traditionally reactive. And the idea that we had, which is actually a very simple idea, was to take medical imaging from its reactive nature and truly make it proactive. Like I said, I have been in the medical imaging space now for 7 years. And it's almost always the case that imaging is deployed when you need to detect something that has already happened. You have a fracture, medical imaging helps you detect it. You have cholelithiasis with cholecystitis, medical imaging helps you detect it. You have a hepatic hemangioma and there's something wrong with your portal vein, medical imaging helps you detect it. But medical imaging has not been proactive. And the question we asked is that what if we can use medical imaging in order to make healthcare truly proactive? Biopeak Evo is that product, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. And I'm also going to tell you about what we are using. We are using the most underrated, underused technology in the world, the MRI scan. How many of you guys here have gotten, or your folks have gotten an MRI scan, maybe in the last 12 months? Quite a few. 100% of these cases would have been because there is something wrong and something needs to be checked. And MRI is amazing for that, right? It is truly a magical technology. But MRI is genuinely not used to its full potential. For example, there's a lot of studies around the fact that MRI done in the right protocols can help detect Parkinson's early. Very few people actually get an MRI for this. Most people are getting an MRI because there is already something that has happened. And we realized that MRI as a proactive technology has massive, massive potential. And I'm going to give you guys possibly two examples. I want to make sure we are on time. The first one is on brain health. Most people, if they're getting an MRI of their brain, they're usually detecting something like a stroke or something else. We have seen that susceptibility weighted imaging on an MRI can be used to detect early Parkinson's, right? So iron deposits in your basal ganglia can be correlated with CRP, ferritin levels in order to understand that. On a specific sequence called a Dixon or an M-Dixon or an ideal sequence, depending on which machine you're using, you can actually see the difference between brown adipose tissue and white adipose tissue, and that is an excellent excellent marker for your general metabolic health. Generally, MRI scans don't do this, right? MRI scans are there because somebody has a stroke, somebody has a tumor, somebody has something else, and an MRI scan is done just for that. And we believe that we can use advanced imaging, AI, and biomarkers to not only detect early disease, but potential early cause of disease. And that's the whole idea behind our product, Biopeak Evo. Now, I've said all this, and I'm very aware of the fact that many of you would have heard about full body MRI companies before. There are a bunch of them in the US. There is Prenuvo, there is Ezra. I love Tony Robbins personally, and he's launched this awesome test called Fountain Life. So, full body MRI as a concept for longevity is not really new. But what's the difference? I think there are three fundamental problems with the way full body MRI is being done in the world today. Number one, full body MRI tests are not personalized. Everybody gets the same protocol. Second, they are generally disease focused. They want to find cancer. But there are three broad uses of medical imaging and specifically MRI. You can use it to catch disease, you can use it to catch factors that can affect your quality of life, and you can use it to catch early disease. And most of these full body MRI companies are doing only the first one and not the other two. And finally, which I think is really important, the report that you get at the end of a general full body MRI scan is just a piece of paper. And it's very difficult to interpret, it's not easy to understand. And we thought that if we are going to give this test to highly discerning, understanding, and capable individuals, why not give them full control of their health? Why do I have to restrict the using of AI just to image analysis? Why can't I really take it all the way into helping patients understand their own health? So these are the three things that we realized are a problem and an opportunity to use full body MRI in longevity. And so I'm going to walk you through how we have taken up and how we think that we have changed the game in using full body MRI as a tool for longevity. Number one, personalization. So Evo personalizes your MRI protocol for every guest. And for all the physicians out there, you know that MRI protocols is the core of the MRI itself. You need to understand what protocol you want to run in order to catch what you want to catch. How this works is that all Biopeak biomarkers, what they do for their guests, are sent to us. And we actually personalize the protocol based on what they have. Again, I'm going to go back to the example of if somebody has a family history of Parkinson's, we will definitely go do a detailed sequence on their basal ganglia to understand whether there are iron deposits, etc. That's one example, there are many more. And finally, using a personalized MRI protocol, we are able to make a significantly better analysis of the person's health. Number two, I work with a lot of radiologists. 5C runs probably the largest radiology network in the country. Over 500 of them work with us every day. And it is very clear to us that AI plus radiologists is the way to go. Marcus spoke about augmentation in, as a concept, as a theme in better healthcare outcomes, and that is absolutely true even in radiology. Radiologists are incredible at diagnosing things, and I think AI is as good today in actually helping catch early aging markers. Some of the really cool work that Biopeak and Evo have done together, catching microstructural tissue homogeneity, looking at images in a way that radiologists generally would not, using advanced computer vision. And we've been able to use this to significantly improve the kind of insights we're able to give our guests. A lot of this is cutting edge work. We will be publishing a lot of this work also soon. I'm really excited to see. And finally, I told you guys that reports today are absolutely useless, right? There's this 40-page piece of text that is basically undecipherable to the general human. We have changed the game, and we have made Evo an absolutely interactive product, which means that not only is your dashboard not only can your dashboard explain to you exactly what's good and what's not, but it also comes with an inbuilt chat that we call Evo Chat. And Evo Chat can help you understand your health like nothing else. And you can ask it questions that, these are questions that, I'll give you examples. Some of our guests ask questions of, can I climb Kilimanjaro in April? Right? There was a bunch of them who were going to Kilimanjaro. And Evo, with its deep understanding of all their biomarkers, was able to give them very pointed advice. Many people these days have this crazy, desire to do a lot more running. Lot of people who have gotten Evo ask, can I run a 10K in a couple of weeks? Can I lose 15 kgs in 2 months? These are all questions that people ask Evo, and Evo is able to give them customized, guided advice based on all their deep health parameters. This is a complete change in the way everybody can interact with their health. And that is what is so exciting about what we've done with Biopeak, which is that we have really taken the power of deep health and put it into everybody's hands. The amazing thing about Biopeak Evo is that it is live. We already have a couple of centers in which you can get your tests done. It's already a part of the longevity program that Biopeak is running, and we are tremendously excited to take this research forward, to build a bleeding edge product out of India for which people from multiple places in the world will fly in and get it done. I hope I have enough time to get a few questions in, and I think I do. So that's it from me. Excited to have questions from you guys.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can I get an MRI which will show me the constitution of slow twitch muscles versus fast twitch muscles?
Slow twitch versus fast twitch. I'll have to do my reading on that and get back to you, sir. I'm a basketball player, so I would love to know the composition of the fast twitch muscles in my legs because I can't jump very high for some reason. But I'll figure that out. I'll have to understand the actual way in which it is done. I'm going to hazard a guess and say probably not at this point, but I will figure it out and get back to you.
As an endurance coach, can I give a prescription, for example, to trainees to say that, look, I want these parameters to be measured when they come to you and get these?
Absolutely. I think there's a lot. So everything, basic things from visceral fat to stuff like arthritis. So I said 3 things, sir. Biopeak Evo's job is to do 3 things. It will tell you whether something is going to kill you immediately. It will tell you the quality of life. So we look at disc bulge, arthritis, and stuff like that. And we will also tell you your longevity markers. So as an endurance coach, I think it is absolutely fair. Incidentally, this protocol, the imaging side I take care of, and the general full protocol is taken care by somebody who is one of the top endurance guys in the country. So I think that's very exciting. You should.
Hi, 2 questions. Did I understand correctly that you claim that for Parkinson and Alzheimer, using your imaging, you can pre-detect?
No.
To other tests like establish FDA guidelines. Number 2, when you guys develop these kind of new testing, are you following US FDA criteria for development of a diagnostic kit, a diagnostic device, or it's just some people who can just use your information derived from this?
On the first thing, these are still research in progress. So, sir, this is not saying that if A plus B, then you definitely have Parkinson's. This is still research underway, but there is enough research to say that if your CRP or your ferritin is high, then you should be doing an MRI of your basal ganglia to understand whether there are more iron deposits. And that is a marker that means that you could have Parkinson's. So this is not like your temperature is high, you have fever. It is not a direct correlation. It is very different. It is probabilistic in that sense. Number 2, on FDA guidelines, the MRI and the protocols that we have to run will follow FDA guidelines. A lot of the other stuff is still in research. There is some stuff that is well proven. For example, using Dixon imaging in order to look at brown adipose tissue versus white adipose tissue is now well understood, and it can be used. The other stuff is still in research, but the FDA guidelines is primarily for medical devices, and which is why using an MRI is a good way to start, because the MRI, of course, is already in itself FDA approved. Regulation is a much larger conversation, and I'm happy to take it offline with you, sir.
Okay. All right. So maybe a
Kalyan,
question for you.
thank you for that. Very exciting, and I got to see some of it yesterday as well on your laptop. One of the biggest challenges we face clinically is, and I have many patients who come having done whole body MRIs in other parts of the world, is the high number of incidental findings or artifacts that we see. And as clinicians, I mean, I don't even know whether there's any sort of real longitudinal data to show the predictive value of that. So how are you then empowering us using that information then for the care of the individual to then be able to guide them so that we're not over-medicating or over-intervening when it's just probably a normal part and parcel of their life journey?
I think that's a really, really good question, and I'll give you my thoughts on it. I don't have an answer, but I'll give you my thoughts, which is that most doctors find that a lot of these things are incidental, which is correct. So I'll give you an example. One of our guests had mild, like age-related cerebral atrophy changes in their brain, which is very standard for a 55-year-old, right? And every doctor would, and every doc.
Shouldn't be, but okay, all right.
I mean, for a 55-year-old, you'll have a little. And every doctor would basically brush it off and say, you know what, you're 55, there's some small stuff happening. Why don't you ignore it? I think that the whole point of this, we're talking about 84 biomarkers. You're talking about all these other things. The whole idea is that we want to now give individuals the opportunity to have control of their own health. And even if that means that there's something small, I think, my personal opinion is that they should be notified about it and explained about it in a way that they can digest. And so that is the job of the caregiver as well. And that is my current thought on it, which is that some of these incidental points, it is important to know. Number two, maybe you can take basic steps and basic actions to go and help that person, even in these small things that could improve their quality of life. So I think that in this case, more data, more information is a good thing. It may be a little irritating for doctors. Okay, maybe it may be very irritating for doctors. My personal opinion as somebody who is a patient is that I want to know more about my health. And I want access to tools that can help me understand everything about my body in which I am the ultimate stakeholder. And so that's the view I have taken in.
So I think let's thank the speaker. I'm sorry, we're running out of time. 3 bells have gone. So let's thank the speakers. But kindly do catch him at the break.